And in a disappointing situation for, I don't even think the Sixers fans care, to be honest. I don't know who this is disappointing for. But in a positive situation for podcast fans around the world, Paul George is done for the season. The man who took a break from podcasting to win an NBA championship while his team was 20 games behind the first seed, when they were 10 games below 500. The man, the myth, the legend that is Podcast P. In a great day for podcast fans everywhere, we're going to see more Podcast P. But Paul George is out for the season. Paul George received injections in his left adductor muscle and left knee on Monday. He's been ruled out for the rest of the season. George spent the past week consulting with doctors on best treatment options. 34-year-old suffered 2 hyperextensions in October and November, a finger tendon injury in January, and dealt with a groin ailment in recent weeks. What the hell does a finger tendon injury have to do with injections to the left adductor muscle? And yeah, Paul George is gone. Paul George is done. This is one of the funniest seasons when you're looking at the teams that like mortgage their future, whether it be the Sixers or whether it be the Mavs. The Dallas Mavericks, like, apparently hearing they've frozen Dirk out since Mark Cuban sold the team. Since Mark Cuban sold the team, like, Dirk's no longer even doing his ambassador role. They've frozen him out of the team. And now you're looking at the Sixers. Oh, I feel so bad. Was worried. The Sixers, Mavs, or Suns, who had it worse this year. I think it's probably, it's the Mavs. The Mavs literally went from making the finals less than 12 months ago. 10 months ago, this team was in the NBA finals. And now they're maybe forfeiting games. They made a win now move by trading a young superstar for an older star who's injury prone. Well, that young superstar is averaging like a 30-point triple-double the last 5 games. Might be time to hang it up. It's actually mad that very soon Paul George Sixers is going to be like the Carmelo Anthony Rockets, the Hakeem Olajuwon Raptors era, the freaking what's his name era, the Patrick Ewing Orlando Magic era. It's going to be something like that. Worst signing of all time. Podcast P up and running. Please trade him in the offseason. How the hell are you meant to trade Paul George? I mean that. How the hell are you meant to trade this man? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. How the hell are you meant to trade this man? You're not. There is no way that Paul George is tradable. He is a toxic asset. And for the Philadelphia 76ers fans, I am sorry. You screwed up. Your franchise screwed up. And you can't get out of this. Joel Embiid is not going to retire. Joel Embiid will find a doctor that will let him play basketball. He is not retiring. You are paying Joel for 3 more years. You're paying Joel till 2028. You are also paying this man till 2028. You are paying 2 max contracts for guys that, first of all, can barely get on the floor, and second of all, when they're on the floor, are not going to be that good. Like, that is just a fact. Like, you screwed up. You royally screwed up. And again, it happens. It happens. Teams screw up all the time. As a team, you're allowed to screw up, like. But for the Philadelphia 76ers, and the fact is you're winning too many games to get that top 6 pick. Am I right in saying that? I think the Sixers have been a little bit too competitive. It's like your best player this season at times has been Yabusele. The man was out of the league for half a decade. Like right now, you are the 4th worst team in the East. Okay, you're lucky. You're the 6th worst team in the NBA. But you also have to take into account that, like, there are teams trying to freaking lose more games than you. There are teams actively trying, like, those Spurs. Those Spurs are getting very, very close to getting those Cooper Flag sweepstakes. And you better believe you have to. You have to stop trying to win games. Because if you don't get that top 6 pick, I don't know what's gonna happen because actually, you know what? Maybe you don't want it. You want that top 6 pick because next year it's gonna be even worse, and I don't know if the protections are even less on it next year. Like, it is mad. It's just an all around mental situation, and I cannot believe that this whole season. Like, if you literally watch this channel, like I am. And this is the one time, and it's again, I've covered a couple of things to death. I was so wrong about the Bronny James stuff. Like, still, is he an NBA player? No, but I mean, no, like Bronny's a good G League player. Like, if his name wasn't LeBron James Jr., would he have made the NBA? No, but you know what? He hasn't been bad in the G League. Give him credit, he has not been bad. Ever since they've started treating him like a basketball player, not a sideshow, ever since that bullshit, like he's only playing home games, G League game stuff has stopped, he's actually been all right. But yeah, it's when as much as I was wrong on that one, I've been very right on the Paul George and Embiid stuff. I said it at the start of the year, like literally before, like within 2 games of the season, I was like, this team needs to, at the first opportunity, trade Paul George. Do whatever they can to trade Paul George. And I said it as well about Joel Embiid, that from game 1 of the season, I'm like, Joel Embiid should have been traded. The Philadelphia 76ers should have taken the New York Knicks 5 first-round picks for Joel Embiid. They should have. They could have got 5 first-round picks from him. Right now, I don't know if you could get 1. They literally turned down 5 first-round picks for him, and within 3 months, I don't actually know if you could get 1 for the guy. That is how much Joel Embiid's stock has fallen, through no fault of his own. And now Paul George is done for the season. You literally gave a max contract to Paul George. You gave him a max. And by the way, my favorite part about all this is that you literally, the Clippers didn't get worse. And you refused to give James Harden any sort of a contract because he had a couple of bad playoff games. And instead you give that contract to Podcast P. And this guy cares as much about his podcast as he does about basketball. This is how you know Paul George has said and done ridiculous things. When that joke tweet saying Paul George says podcasting is harder than basketball, when that tweet gets shared around and spread as fact and nobody questions it. Like, that is it gets shared by Centel and nobody questions it. It's like, you're not in a great spot when Centel posts something and no one questions it. If you are a player and some ridiculous Centel thing is posted and everyone believes it, you know you're not in a great spot. But anyway, yeah, that's the video. I'll see you guys.